Next News, breaking news.
He is your kind of man. CNBC threw back at Elizabeth Warren's face, and that is the detonator right there. Warren campaigned for Graham Platner, sold him to Maine voters, and then got cornered with the receipts: a chest tattoo with a Nazi symbol, grotesque rape comments, and praise for Hamas tactics. Look at this collapse. Democrats didn't just miss a red flag. They hugged it, promoted it, and shoved it in front of Susan Collins like nobody would notice. Then Seth Moulton goes on CNN and blurts out, "We failed with our nominee in Maine." Stay with me, because John Kennedy's toaster line absolutely buries them. Now, Seth Moulton said Democrats are obviously worse, and we failed with our nominee in Maine. That's not some Republican attack ad. That came out of a Democrat's own mouth on CNN. And you can hear the panic dripping off every single word. Maine was a pickup dream for Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and the media machines that kept fluffing Graham Platner like he was the second coming. Then the public got the full picture. Warren's "your kind of man" praise, the Nazi symbol chest tattoo, the sick rape comments, the Hamas praise, and now rape allegations, blowing the whole operation sky high. You and I have seen this scam before. The Democrat machine screams about character when it helps them, then tosses character in the shredder the second a left-wing radical can hurt a Republican. That's why this matters. If they'll dress up a man like Platner to take down Susan Collins, they'll hide anything, excuse anything, and lie about anything for power. And now their own side is cracking on camera. See, Elizabeth Warren backed the wrong man in Maine, and that should remind you how fast fake systems fail. Everybody cheers AI, cloud banking, digital ease. Fine. But what happens when your money doesn't exist anywhere you can touch? What happens when it gets hacked, frozen, or erased by code? Noble Gold Investments gives you something real: physical gold and physical silver. A coin you can hold, a bar you can stack, wealth that doesn't live on a server and can't be frozen by a keystroke and can't be erased by code. You can even use a tax-advantaged retirement account or get it shipped to your door. Go to nextnewsgold.com. Just mention my name for a free 10-ounce U.S. independent silver bar when you open a new qualified account. In America, real value still beats fraud. John Fetterman said Democrats are governed by the TDS, not principles. A sitting Democrat senator just admitted the party's brain is gone. And the part that stopped me cold was how perfectly that explains Platner. Why did Warren and Bernie Sanders push the guy so hard? Because hating Trump outranked basic decency, basic vetting, basic sanity. Then Fetterman torched Bernie by demanding an apology for backing this train wreck. In a minute, I want to walk you through the tweets and show you just how fast their own people started running for the exits. CNN asking, are Democrats' chances of taking control of the Senate better or worse? Where's my audio? I don't know. Let's see if we can find that audio. Just a moment. Of course, this happens while we're live, right?
Do you think that Democrats' chances are now better or worse to retake control of the Senate with what Graham Platner has brought to the Senate race?
Well, look, I mean, at the moment, they're obviously worse. And I think we've got to be honest with ourselves. That's the other thing Democrats need to do, is we've just got to be honest about where we're failing. And, we failed with our nominee in Maine.
We failed with our nominee in Maine. So even Democrats on CNN are admitting the Maine Senate mess is hurting them, and on CNBC does what legacy press usually refuses to do. It forces Elizabeth Warren to defend why she called Graham Platner your kind of man. CNBC host calling out Senator Elizabeth Warren. Check this out.
Which is you campaigned with Graham Platner, who is ahead of that state's very pivotal Democratic primary. And I wanted to ask you about something you said. You said he's your kind of man. And I've interviewed you for a long time and watched your hearings and listened to your questions. You care about character. This is a guy that had a chest tattoo with a Nazi symbol. Okay, he apologized for it. It's a guy that reportedly wrote that people concerned about rape should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up that they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. He praised military tactics used by Hamas, reportedly, in comments online and Reddit when they were murdering Israeli soldiers. So I'm just curious why you think he's your kind of man.
So, as you rightly point out, he has apologized. He's out meeting with the people of Maine every single day so they can evaluate not who Graham Platner was, but who Graham Platner is today. And let me tell you exactly how that comment came to be. I was describing how I didn't know Graham Platner from anybody, and I'm reading an interview with him, and he's asked, when did you first know that the game was rigged? And he harks back to the 2008 crash when 10 million families lost their homes, when 8 million people lost their jobs, when millions of people lost their savings, and when big banks cheated folks, when non-bank financial institutions tricked them, robbed them of their homes. And Graham Platner's answer on when he knew the game was rigged was when not one banker went to jail. And I said, that's my kind of man.
Okay, well, I dig it next to a video of a bunch of terrorists killing 5 soldiers. I don't know. I mean, you guys want to be the party of inclusivity, right?
I want to be the party that stands up for hardworking people. I want to be the party that is transformative of an economy that...
Yeah, okay, so Warren tried to spin it, but the receipts were brutal. The question was simple. Next, watch John Kennedy say out loud what plenty of Americans were already thinking about the Democrats' hand-picked candidate.
With respect to Mr. Platner, he was nominated by the Hamas wing of the Democratic Party, which is in control. With respect to the new allegations or revelations about him, I, of course, was completely shocked. Who could possibly have seen this coming? It's not like there were signs or something. I tell you who saw it coming. Every American who was paying attention and who has an IQ above a toaster knew that this guy's motherboard was fried. Even my colleague, Senator Schumer, who can't even cook a cheeseburger, saw this coming.
Couldn't cook a cheeseburger. His point is the red flags were never hidden. They just chose to ignore them. Next, Kayleigh McEnany lays out how the media and the left propped Platner right up to the whole thing started blowing apart.
Republicans should just really just shut up. They really should just shut up if they're going to be critical of Democrats for supporting a morally challenged candidate.
My empathy goes with the bravery of that woman for speaking out, and he has to drop out of the race. Platner's problem is he should have ran as a Republican, and then he would be the senator because they don't have an issue with this.
It's not okay. And I keep pointing to the one at the top because this is the one that is in front of our kids as well.
Yes.
And we have to explain why we say no to this one, but this one is okay.
And ultimately, deeply enraging political career for Graham Platner, enraging for all of us.
Right. They're trying to spin their way out of this. Kayleigh, is it working? No, they were all on board. Look, I don't know why I do this, but occasionally subject myself to MS Now. Jen Psaki was on board. They were all on board with Graham Platner. They loved this guy. They loved him when he had a Nazi tattoo. They loved him when he had Reddit posts that were unearthed that said the army was absolute trash, full of fat, lazy trash. They still supported this guy. They supported this guy when we saw Reddit posts that he said the Navy SEALs were generally incompetent. Teddy Daniels, remember what he said about him? That MFer, he said, that dumb MFer didn't deserve to live. They were all with this guy. They were still with him. When Lindsay Fifield came forward and said he pushed her, left marks on her shoulder, locked her in a room, they were all on board.
Roe kind of appeared with him that night.
Absolutely. Bernie stayed. Elizabeth Warren stayed. This is what they did. And Graham Platner.
So even Democrats on CNN are admitting the Maine Senate mess is hurting them. What the heck? This thing just keeps scrolling along. Okay, here we go. When asked who leads the Democrats, Fetterman says right now our party is governed by TDS.
Who do you think leads the Democratic Party today?
Oh, we don't have one. I think the TDS. I think that's the leader right now. You know, right now our party is governed by the TDS. And now it's made it virtually impossible without being punished as a Democrat to agree something's good, or I agree with the other side. And
yeah, governed by the TDS. Every American with an IQ above a toaster knew this guy's motherboard was fried. John Kennedy ripping the whole fraud wide open with one line, because he's right. The signs were everywhere. And Elizabeth Warren still campaigned for Graham Platner. Bernie Sanders still pushed him. Chuck Schumer's party still treated Maine like a toy they could snatch with a radical, warm body wearing a Democrat label. Listen, this is the part that burns. They lecture you about women, extremism, democracy, decency. Then they line up behind a candidate tied to a Nazi symbol tattoo. Rape, filth, and Hamas praise, and when the scandal blew up, they didn't confess, they scattered. They hid. They started pretending Platner fell from the sky. No, Warren touched this, Bernie touched this, the Democrat mean built this whole mess with their own hands. So Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, they need to answer for Graham Platner now. No memory hole, no cleanup spin, no slick little pivot back to their fake moral sermons. You backed him, you platformed him. Warren stamped him with, yes, he's our kind of man, and that line is going to hang around her neck for a long time. Bernie Sanders pushed the train wreck, and even John Fetterman, a Democrat, demanded an apology to Maine voters and everybody who donated. That's how rotten this got. So yes, Republicans should press this hard, because this wasn't one bad choice. This was a Democrat vetting system working exactly as designed. Hate Trump first, excuse everything else later. We covered this setup on July 7th. Now we're watching the implosion. Oh, and you better believe the next time these people preach character, America needs to throw Platner, Warren, Bernie, and this whole filthy episode right back in their faces. And you know what I'm throwing in YouTube's face? This phone number on the end of every video. Because the notifications aren't getting to you. So I had to set this up so you'll get the news when you want it. Just opt in. Opt in by going to texting raw feed to 844-840-4963. I'll send you one text message a night. You'll get one link. You go to the channel. You can get caught up. Very simple, very easy, and thousands of patriots are already doing it. And thousands of patriots are celebrating the wins with the Next News Network because they're going to the merch shelf below this video. Now you need to. Now you need to, too.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.